We've shared this so many times, but I still get so touched every time when I'm reminded what God has done for our marriage. It's amazing. And that's just something I want to say to you. Don't ever forget. You have to build a monument to what God has done in your lives, to why you even married your spouse in the first place. So around the same time that he was talking about, I was home in Pennsylvania and planning to never leave. But after a few weeks, I started thinking, this isn't quite what I thought it was going to be like. I'd go home and visit and just party with all my friends and relatives. It was great. But to go live there again, I felt like I had changed and I didn't belong. And my male friend had suggested we leave our spouses, and he was willing to move to Pennsylvania with me. And it seemed like the answer to everything for me. But I just didn't have the energy to do anything about it. Plus, whenever I would start thinking about divorcing my husband, I'd hear this little voice in my head saying, I'm not going to be happy if you divorce your husband. I thought, I don't want to hear that. Oh, okay, I was going to church, because they would let me play the piano there. So I was going to church and doing all that, but I really didn't want to hear from God. I didn't care what he thought about me for some time. So you see, you can walk through those doors every Sunday. You can come to church every Sunday and look like you know all the answers, but you really don't have a relationship with God. And that's where I was. And let me tell you, my most active time in church was also the most immoral time of my life. So I kept hearing God's ideas here. And a cousin of mine gave me a book to read about a couple that went through a similar experience, and they saved their marriage through God. And I started looking at my father's life after he left my mother. He and his new wife struggled financially. They were ill constantly. He was in and out of the hospital. They just had one problem after another. And he died at 61. Now, that's not looking very old to me right now anymore. So, amen. It's coming up for you, honey, isn't it? So, it occurred to me that if I didn't give my marriage a chance, I might never know true happiness again. I might turn out like my father. If I left my husband for the other man, I could wind up just like my father. And then I'd look into the eyes of my children. And I knew I didn't want to put them through the pain of divorce that I had known as a child and still struggled with and still struggle with till this day.